What's up, you guys? It is a beautiful Montana day, and today I'm going to show you how to make a fire using only a ferro rod and the stuff that you can find around you. So stick with it, stay tuned, let's get out there. Alright, this looks about as good of a spot as you can find. So I've got my chair right here up against this log. Now if I was going to be staying here for some time, this would probably be a great spot to set up camp. On either one of these logs I could build a lean-to type of shelter, something like that. But today we're not doing that, so maybe in a future video let me know if you want to see some shelter building. But we're right here. Over there is the main channel of the river, and right here is just basically ice melt flow. It's a seasonal channel that flows, so I wouldn't be too worried about, you know, water pooling up or getting high right here if you were going to make a shelter here. But you have close access to water should you need it. All right, first step to building a fire, let's find some fuel. All right, one thing that's important about fire building is having good dry tinder. So one thing that I've done is gone around and looked underneath all the deadfalls I could find and pulled out. I mean, I'm not gonna be here for a while, so I didn't collect a lot, but just enough to get the fire going. And then what I did was I stripped a piece of dry bark from underneath a piece of deadfall that I'm gonna serve to make my fire on top of, so it's not in direct contact with the snow. So these things that I've got here, it's actually a Christmas gift. It's from Bigfoot Bushcraft. I'm not sponsored by them, it was just a Christmas gift. These little fire starters, and we're going to use them with this ferro rod that I have here. So in the event that you don't have a lighter or something of that nature, this can be a great alternative. And this is just going to be a bonus if we're able to kind of get this thing going. So you kind of work this back and forth, get the fibers loosened up so it'll catch a spark. There we go. So we got these ends fluffed really nice. We're going to sit these right here, and I'm going to do 2 of them just to be on the safe side. But this is basically just compressed cotton fibers with a fuel mixture on it, so you can make these yourself pretty easy. Open those fibers up really nice and wide. So now we have 4 of these guys here. We have our tinder set up right close next to us here, so that way we can easily grab it, put it on top once we get this going. So first thing you want to do, you're going to scrape this black coating off of your ferro rod here. Okay, once you've done that, it's going to help. If you didn't have an ignition source, that's going to help ignite it. Then you want, there you go, just like that. 3 strikes and I've got fire already. I didn't even have to do that. See that? See how much easier than a lighter that is? So these guys are supposed to burn for up to 5 minutes. We'll see how true that is. But that's the benefit of having them on top of this nice dry bark, is it's just gonna create a little oxygen chamber for them. I typically don't like to burn with, leaves are kind of finicky, especially this late in the year. So we'll just stick with twigs. I also collected some more of this bark to help get the fire going. It's really spindly, and you can just break it up like this. Slap it right on top of the fire. And boom. There you have it. We're just going to nurse this thing and get it going. You don't want to smother your fire. Say you only had one of these little fire starters. You want to make sure it has ample air to it. That's why I think getting those going is going to be pretty important for us. These little twigs and bark is not going to burn super hot, but it's going to get us a good little base going. You can see it's burning pretty good. We've got some good wind coming this way, so it's not going to blow back into my shelter should I make a shelter, which is a good thing. But now, I have a good base. Even in the winter, it's still hard to find good dry twigs. But that's what we want. That one looks a little wet still. And then we can start to build around it. So that definitely helps, having that nice base. All right, let's go ahead, let this fire burn. We'll get it nursing a little bit, and let's get the food set up in the meantime. All right, so I brought some tin foil with me. Tin foil is a great lightweight way to have a nice cooking surface, and if you let it cool down, you can reuse it a couple times. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this over top of this side of the fire. I've got my water right here. See how that's looking? Pretty good. Not boiling yet, but let's move this log over just slightly. It's hot. The wind direction changed. It always happens like that, doesn't it? The wind direction always changes when you need it not to. All right, so I'm gonna just put that right there. Then this is what we brought with us. 2 fat pieces of bacon. Look at that. This is boar's head. This is good stuff. Now we're just gonna put that right there. And it's important to kind of just let it. It's gonna be a little funky just because, you know, I didn't lay it on there great, but you just want to let that bacon shrink up really good. Let's see how this water is doing. All right, so it's almost to a boil, so I think that's good enough for a cup of coffee. What do you think? So I have with me Stanley French press. This thing is, or not French press, pour over. This thing is super cool. So what we're gonna do here, brought my favorite coffee, Backwoods Grind, coarse ground. I brought a filter because I wasn't sure if I'd need it, but you could use this for anything else you needed. So we're not gonna use that. We're gonna put, tried to make enough for just me. So we're gonna put, you know, that amount of coffee in there. That ought to be good. Hopefully it's enough for at least a full cup. You know what, I'll just do it all, because screw it, why not? All right, so I've got that. And what we're gonna do here, grab my glove. While that's cooking, I'm gonna grab, let's see if we can do it without spilling it. I'm gonna grab our water. A little hot. Let's see. Oh yeah, that water's plenty hot. And it's touching the hot edge of that thing. We're just gonna pour it over. Gonna make ourselves a nice, hot cup of coffee. Just like that. All right, so now that we've got that, we're gonna let that go. Let's see, this is probably about ready for a flip. If we can manage a flip without burning ourselves. Oh yeah. hot fires can be slightly pretentious when you're cooking bacon. Alright, we're just letting that filter. So, now we've got that, we've got a nice hot bed of coals over here. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to make some eggs. So, stay tuned. Let those bad boys cook a minute. We're gonna use this lid to cover these so I don't get ash everywhere. Alright, once we've done that, let's go ahead and mix these guys up. We're gonna make kind of an omelet kind of a thing. And that is gonna be good. Just gonna slightly cover it to help shield it a little bit. Oh yeah. So what I've done here, basically, is create a little oven. I burned the hot coals on this side, create a little pocket. Now I've got these eggs in here cooking. Oh yeah, they're cooking nice on the bottom. And I don't want it to be too hot because you can overcook this stuff really easily. So we just got the bacon kind of warming over here off to the side. It's gonna be baked, kind of, sort of. All right, you guys, here is the final product. It's pretty slick, huh? Pretty good looking breakfast. Got my coffee right here. Got the fire kind of simmering down a little bit. Daggum, that's good. All right, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this backcountry breakfast. That's good. Hard to have a life, better than this one. Next time I'm doing more than 2 eggs though. Let's warm our feet up a little bit. I should have brought a little kneeling mat for my knees. I didn't think about that. My knees got pretty cold on that ice tending that fire the whole time. But the thing is, you can't get it too hot, because if you get it too hot, then it won't work right. Everything will burn. Cheers to you. Alright you guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. I really enjoyed having this time with you out here doing a little bit of Montana bushcrafting. Now you know how to make a fire using only a ferro rod and how to make an awesome campfire breakfast. So with that said, hit that like, hit the subscribe, and share this video with a friend if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Midwest Madness. Peace.